Facebook's announced that they're changing the corporate name to Meta. That's similar to Google changing to Alphabet. I don't remember when that was. Do you, Kelsey?
I'm still not, like, you keep mentioning Alphabet, but I'm still actually not aware, besides you mentioning it, of Alphabet as a business. I just only know Google. So I can't answer
Yeah.
that one, unfortunately.
Well, I think you sort of make that point, and um, to be fair, most people probably won't notice that Facebook's changed the name to Meta because
Although I've
we're
seen like
talking about the
50 articles about it today.
same thing happened when Alphabet was announced. So maybe you just weren't paying
Mm,
attention.
maybe.
So essentially, what's happening here is that I did think it was weird when they started calling the company Facebook and the product Facebook as well. So what we're changing here is not the name of the platform. The platform continues to be Facebook, but we're changing the company that oversees it all. The company that owns Oculus, Instagram,
Oculus
WhatsApp.
is gone now, though.
True, they're renaming Oculus as into something else. I forget what it is. And I watched the 11-minute cut down version of the whole announcement. I don't think I'm. I assume it went for like an hour and a half, just like every other tech event these days. And who's got the time for that? So we'll
Yeah.
include the 11-minute video link put together by the team at CNET. But um, I watched it and I thought it was kind of weird. It's not that surprising. Uh, Mark Zuckerberg, the Zuckmeister, was a bit of a robot. If you watch the video, not that weird. I think he's been called a robot for a little while, and it was sort of weird. He joked about, in this AR augmented reality sort of world, there was someone else who was choosing the avatar to be a robot, and he makes a joke about it, and it's all a bit sort of tongue in cheek. But I think what Facebook is trying to do is they want to become the what I want to call the operating system for your social life. You or your like interactions. And when I say social life, I think I mean how you socialize with the world and with individuals. The name Meta, though, like metaverse, I don't know. It's
It's a weird one. I don't really know what it means myself. I hear people using it as like a descriptive word for people that are a bit like edgy and all of that sort of stuff, but
yeah,
it doesn't
Meta,
really mean a
yes.
lot.
Yeah, well, the metaverse, I've just looked it up for a formal definition. The metaverse is a speculative future iteration of the internet made up of persistent shared 3D virtual spaces linked into a perceived virtual universe. So like a virtual existence. Um,
Mm.
and so really what they're trying to do at Meta is trying to bridge that gap. So we talked about Oculus, which they bought, and now they've changed the name. Oculus does augmented reality goggles and sort of gaming. So that's how they're talking about like a hybrid life. So you might sit at your physical desk next to your physical like colleague who's there in person, but then they're talking about how the next desk over could be in augmented reality. You could interact with augmented reality objects that are on your desk or in your, like within your space, and then look over, and there could be either a hologram or an avatar of a colleague sitting there because they're coming in from they're sort of being fed in from their own setup of whatever it may be. So um, it's all quite sort of weird.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's making me feel kind of unsettled thinking about that kind of scenario. It's making me think of like Wally kind of vibes of like where we're going to end up because everything's automated and you no longer have to get up and go and talk to a colleague, for example. I mean, we're doing this on a video call. I don't know if this is just like the very early iteration of where we're going to end up, but I don't know. I feel like there could be some issues that pop up with it.
For sure. I think there's definitely going to be issues, but I mean, see, I like what Facebook does. I think Mark Zuckerberg deserves respect, but at the same time, he's a bit of a robot, and he's the head of a big corporation that does things that are more for profit than for the benefit of people. But he does talk about things like um, not having to commute to work anymore, which I think opens up the possibility of, say, living in the country, but like working in a way that feels like you're going into work, but doing that in a digital sense, so you don't have to physically be there. I think in the developing world, it probably raises the benefits of, not necessarily needing to build out road infrastructure, but instead needing to focus on the communication side of things, the internet side of things. And don't get me wrong, I think all said and done, Facebook at one point were flying essentially blimps and drones around with Wi-Fi, and enabling Wi-Fi in, I think it was in Africa. So ultimately, Facebook hit this problem where they were like, listen, not enough people have internet to keep using our services. So they literally decided to give people internet so they would sign up for Facebook and they'd make more money. So um,
Jeez.
that's what it's driven by at the end of the day. They're talking about stuff like subsidizing devices or selling them at cost to increase adoption. So this is a multi-billion-dollar organization just saying, you know what, we just want everyone to have it and we want to make it really cheap. Amazon has done that successfully with their tablets and the Amazon. Like, didn't you get a Amazon smart speaker
Yeah.
for
I
not
don't
too long?
shop too often on Amazon, but I signed up or I went to buy something. They said, hey, sign up for Amazon, 30-day free trial, free shipping. So I went, yeah, sure, why not? And then they sold me a $10 Amazon Alexa, which I was like, all right, may as well. And then canceled my subscription, which probably goes against what they're hoping I'd do. But I got an Alexa out of it, and now they can spy on me all the time.
Exactly. And it's part of your life, right? So they've sold you a $10 device, which they probably lost money on. But for sure, every time you look at it, you think Amazon.
Yep.
Every time I mean, we're mentioning it, like it's that classic,
Yeah.
we're talking about it now. So
They're
they're
getting all
doing,
my search information and all of my music requests and all of that sort of
Mhm.
stuff. What time I wake up in the morning,
Yep.
everything.
I mean, how much information can they just get by just being present, like always listening? Like you would
Yeah.
hope not always listening, but who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah.
And if you didn't think it could get creepier, some of the stuff that Facebook were talking about was like getting better at tracking a person's face and emotions, and working better with face tracking when you have like masks on and or a beard. It's something that gets in the way, and developing technology so that avatars, so your virtual avatar, can make eye contact with the person you're talking to, which is, I think, yeah, I get it. I get it. Don't get me wrong. I think
Yeah.
that's what it's going to take to create experiences that are just so lifelike or real.
Yeah.
But
I think
well,
there's concern there, though. I remember hearing a while ago, I want to say years ago, and I don't know where this came from, but basically with animators, a lot of the time when they're doing movies and TV shows, they actually need to like bring back how realistic the animations are, because then there becomes this disconnect between the audience and what they've created, where it's like almost lifelike, but people can tell that it's obviously not real. And then there's this discomfort. So they actually have to bring it back and make it more cartoony so that it's less like scary and all that sort of stuff. So imagine
right.
talking to something in the virtual world that's so lifelike, but you as a human would still be able to tell like this is off, this isn't normal. And I feel like there would just be a lot of discomfort and I don't know,
At
disconnect.
the start, probably, but I guarantee you, Facebook is going to try and get to the point where they can track every single pore on someone's face and map how that would behave and react. It's getting into the realm of creepy. I do wonder, you have all these big like companies with insane amounts of money in the bank. Yeah, what they have the power to do and what maybe governments should be doing to try and like intercept this. We've talked about in the past that governments are often reacting, rather than being proactive, because it's these private companies that push technology to the next level. But maybe this is one case where they need to sort of step in and not allow certain things.